Okay, we have Aaron had 55 more than Shanti at first. Okay, so whenever you all see this keyword more than, right? Okay, you all will always draw model. More than or less than, always draw model. Okay, remember that. So what I will do, right, is I will draw Aaron compared to Shanti. Okay, $55 more. So I will draw $55 more, 5 here. Okay, so okay, remember more than, less than, draw model. Okay, then next thing, after Aaron used, okay, 2/5 of his money. Okay, now you have a fraction change here. Use, it means something happens, a change, and this is a fraction, right? Now when you have a fraction change, okay, what I would suggest you to do is, okay, you will label, you know, what is the fraction at first inside this model. Okay, can anyone tell me? Okay, this is what fraction for Aaron. What fraction is Aaron for at first, given that Aaron used 2/5? Who can tell me? Given that Aaron used 2/5. At first, guys, use is use. I want Aaron at first when he hasn't used that time. What is the fraction? Okay? Yes, very good. You all tell me 5 out of 5 because it must be one whole, correct? Yes. So can we write this down? This should be 5 out of 5. Okay? Okay, yeah? So in fact, right, some numbers that should be very, very clear in your head, right, is you should know at first, okay, for Aaron, okay, Aaron at first is 5 out of 5. He used 2 out of 5 and he is left with 3 out of 5. Okay, these are the numbers that it should be in your head. Yeah, easy peasy. Okay, if it's easy, then we do next one will be the same. Shanti used 1/3. Okay, guys, if Shanti used 1/3, can you tell me what do I fill up here? Shanti has what fraction at first? What fraction at first? Can you tell me so I can quickly put it in? Okay, Shanti at first used and then left. Very good. You all tell me 3 out of 3. Yes, well done. So 3 out of 3. Out of 3 out of 3, she used 1/3. So she is left with 2/3. Okay, put this 3 out of 3 into the model here because this is what is represented by Aaron and Shanti at first, right? At first. Okay, so we managed to fill out the model already. Now from here, there's a very, very important thing that I want y'all to learn so that y'all can proceed with the question is, okay, I want y'all to think, right, how many units do you put in a blank part here? Okay, how many units do you put in the blank part here? Now, usually, we will put the blank part 1 unit, right, usually. But for this type of question, we will not put 1 unit, we will put something else. Can you tell me how many units will you put in there? Denominator same. Actually, you don't need make denominator same because what Aaron have and what Shanti have, they are different. So you don't need to make denominator same. Okay? Yeah? Unless they say it's the same at first, then you can make denominator same. Because denominator represent what they have at first. Right? Okay? Okay, some people say 4U, some people say 3U. Okay. I still didn't see the correct answer. So can I get more people to tell me how many unit will you put here? Okay, I give you a clue, okay? The unit that you put here, it must be able to divide by 5. It must be able to divide by 3 so that you can go and find 1/3. And also you can go and find 1/5. Okay, so how many units will you put here? Okay, those of you who tell me 5 units means you're looking here, but you're not looking here. Yeah, very good. You all tell me 15. Very good, yes. Because, right, the lowest common multiple of 5 and 3 is 15, which means I will put 15 unit here. Okay, there is a reason why I put 15 unit. It's because later, if this is 5 out of 5, you got the 15 unit, right? You need to make sure when you divide that time, it can be divided by 5. Then you can continue finding more clues. Okay, so in other words, right? Okay, this one is not so important, I just put here. In other words, I can get started with the very first step. I can put 5 out of 5 of Aaron is made out of 15 unit plus 55. Okay, 15 units plus 55. Yeah, what I want to do, right, you see, what they give us is, they give us, okay, in the end, Aaron has 27 more. So we want to go to the end and we make use of the $27 clue. So to go to in the end, right, I need to go to, in the end, we know it's like 3/5. And to be able to go to 3/5, you need to find 1/5. Can you do like a table? Can. In fact, there's another way is the table method also can. Yeah. So to find 1/5, right, everything must divide by 5, okay? Which also means this one must divide by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. This one also must divide by 5, okay? 55 divided by 5, that's how you get 11. And then to find in the end left is 3 out of 5. So 3 out of 5 of A. Now from 1/5 to 3/5, right, you times 3. So you'll get 9 unit plus 33. Okay, so you found the N already for A. Let's move on to S, okay? For S. So let me just reorganize a little bit. For S, right, you started with 3 out of 3 of S is 15 unit, right? So let's write it down. 3 out of 3 of S is 15 unit. So 1/3 of S, from 3 out of 3 to 1/3, right, you will divide by 3, you get 5 units. Take a look at what is in the end is 2/3. So we want to find in the end, so we can make use of the clue $27. So to get 2/3, yeah, is 2 times 5 unit, you will get 10 unit, okay? I feel you are overcomplicating. No. Okay. So far for this one, other than this method, another one is the table method. Yeah, so far no other method unless you want to use very complicated algebra, unless it's super good algebra, then you can do it. Yeah. Okay, so after that from here, right, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a separate model for in the end, because they say, okay, here Aaron had $27 more than Shanti. So I'm going to draw the N model to show you how to do it, okay? So N model, okay, you have Aaron to Shanti, $27 more. You will draw the $27 more first. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Then after that, okay, you are going to guys, I will suggest always you look at the blank portion because it's easier to fill up. Okay, when I say look at the blank portion means I want you to look at S first. So if you see, right, for S, right, you are left with 10 unit in the end. It's a very, very nice 10 unit that you can just, you know, insert into this blank, right? Yeah, so right, I will actually put, too small, I cannot see. But that is like the biggest I can show on my screen already. Okay, yeah, so I will put the 10 unit in. Okay, guys, the 10 unit don't come by chance. I get from what I already found earlier on, 10 unit here. Okay, then on top must be 10 unit also because it's the same size, right? This and this is the same size. Okay, then next I will go and look at my A in the end is 9 units plus 33. Okay, so 9 units plus 33, what I will do, right, instead of 10 unit here, okay, I'm just going to erase the 10 unit here. Instead of 10 unit, I will go and cut it become 9 unit. Okay, so if I cut it become 9 unit, I know 10 minus 9 remaining here is 1 unit. So if my 9 unit is already here, whatever left behind must be my 33. Okay, that will actually, you can actually put in here is 33. Is it 60? Yes. So then from here, you'll be able to tell, okay, like this, right? 1 unit plus 27 is 33. Okay, so to find 1 unit is 33 minus 27, right? Okay, which you will get a 6. And how much did Shanti have left in the end? Shanti is left with 10 units in the end. That's why 10 unit is 10 times 6. Okay, that's how you'll get the answer is 60. So that's why your option here is option 4. Yes, I agree that this shouldn't be in MCQ because such question, this question we covered in our workshop, Advanced Model Drawing Workshop for P5, P6. And when I cover in this Advanced Model Drawing Workshop, I will usually tell the parents that when you sign your child up for this, the level of difficulty is 5 out of 5. Yeah, it's really, for this type of question, it's really like to determine the AL1, AL2 student. So I don't know why ACS put this in the MCQ 2 marks. It should be, usually it come out, right, it should be paper 2, like 3 mark, 4 mark kind. Yeah. Okay. So we have Andy and Betty had 8, 6, 4 stamps all together. Andy gave Betty some of his stamps and Betty's stamps increased by 60%. Okay, so what is happening in the first scenario? I will label this as change number 1, okay? Because if you continue reading, there are quite a number of changes. So change number 1, right, is Andy give Betty, okay, Betty some of his stamps, but I don't know how many, okay, for now. And I know that Betty's stamps increased by 60%. Okay, we need to understand this statement, okay? Now, how do you understand Betty's stamps increased by 60%? Is you need to understand these 3 situations. Betty at first, Betty increase, and Betty in the end. Okay, how are the percentages like? Anybody can tell me. Betty at first will be how many percent? Increase is how many percent? In the end is how many percent? Answer not 62.3. Yeah, maybe you want to try again. This one is hard. Yeah, that's why I say this is the hardest question in this prelim paper. Okay, who can tell me is how many percent at first? How many percent increase? How many percent at the end of change 1? Thank you, Yen Live More for following. 160, very good. At first it's always 100. You increase by 60%. So 100 plus 60 is 160%. Yes. So this is what you need to understand based on this sentence first. Everyone can understand? Okay. Now what I will do personally, right, I will make the numbers really small so that it's easy for us to calculate and also solve the question. So what I will do is I will just divide by all the tens. Okay. Then I will, okay, simplest form, right, I will everything divide by 2. Okay, so the ratio I know actually is 5 to 3 to 8. Yeah, at this point in time. Next, we have in return, Betty gave Andy some of her stamps, and these stamps increased by 30%. So now we are looking at change number 2. Okay, change number 2 now is the reverse. Betty gave back to Andy. Okay, and now what do you understand by this? Andy's stamp increased by 30%. Is the answer 80%? Yes. Good. Why remove the 0? Because I want to simplest form it. I want to deal with small number. I don't want to deal with 100%, 60%, 160%. I want to deal with like very small number like 5 unit, 3 unit, 8 unit. That's the reason why I do that. Okay. Now, what do you understand by this? Andy's stamp increased by 30%. Same thing. Okay. You should be able to come up with this. Andy at first. Andy increase. Okay, I wouldn't even say Andy at first. I would say it's Andy because change 1 already occurred. Then this happened, right? So I would say this is Andy end of change 1 actually. Okay, then Andy increase, and then Andy end of change. Andy end of change 2. Andy end of change 2. Okay, can you all tell me, right? What are the numbers that I will put here, here, and here first? I want to check your understanding before I continue with the question. 130, no. Answer not 130. Answer not 85 also. Okay. Okay. Star say 100. F is for end of change 1. Then increase by 30. Become 130. Yes. This is how you understand this statement. Very good. So you must always treat. Okay. Whenever they give you something like that, you have to treat, right? The original is 100. Increase by 30 become 130. Yes. So, okay, if you want to deal with small numbers, same thing, let's divide by 10 throughout first. So you get 10 to 3 to 13 first. Okay? So currently we have this. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Now, this question is really, really hard because after change 2, now got change number 3. Okay, then Andy gave some of his stamps back to Betty. Oh, now give back again. Okay, so now Andy give back to Betty, and Betty's stamps increased by 80%. This Andy and Betty trying to make our life difficult. Give here, give there, give here, give there. And now we have to do all the math, right? Next time you all know already. You want to share things, or just give one time, don't give so many times, right? Make our life difficult. Okay, so same thing. Okay, we repeat the same steps. Okay. Betty's stamps increased by 80%. That means Betty at the end of change 2 versus Betty increase versus Betty end of everything, which is the end of change. Maybe I will put it end of change 3. Okay, can you tell me what's the ratio like? Betty end of change 2 is what? Increased by what? In the end is what? Okay, JR twins say that is you have to treat is 100 and then you increase by 80. Yes, then end up you get 180, correct? Yes, then you just simplest form again, divide by 10, divide by 10, divide by 10. Okay, and then you want to make simplest form again, you divide by 2 throughout. You will get 5 is to 4 is to 9. Okay, something like that. Okay, so we have all this now. Now we deal with the most important number here that they give you. In the end, each of them had equal number of stamps. They have equal. Okay, now I want you to think about this whole question. A give to B, B give to A give to B again. What never change? At first, Andy and Betty got 864, right? Then give here, give there, between A and B. So what never changed, guys? Can I have more people telling me? Total never changed. Why? Very good. Why total never changed? Because they are transferring. A give B, B give A. They are internal exchange. Very good. So y'all can tell me, right? Total unchanged. So if total unchanged, it means this 864, it will also be the same in the end. Total will be 864. 864. Agree with me? And if they have equal in the end, what can we do to 864? Because they are indecisive, yes. Divide by 2, yes, because they got equal, exactly. Then you get 432. Okay? Okay, if you get 432, okay? Now, what I would recommend you to do, right, is we know that B in the end got 432. A in the end also got 432, right? And then I want to look at this. B in the end is left with 9, right? Left with 9. So I want to make sure B in the end is left with 432, right? I already know this number. So how about I change this ratio, right? So I will take 432 divided by 9. Understand or not? 432 divided by 9. I want to know how can I change that ratio to be the exact number that we are working with. So 432 divided by 9, I will get 48. It means actually the relationship is I need to times 48 right here. Okay? So 48 times 5, I will get 240. I hope you all still can see the question. 4 times 48. 4 times 48, I will get... Let me just bring it down a bit more so you can see. Okay, 4 times 48, you will get 192. 192. Okay? Wait, access the question. You can access the question also. Screenshot the question. Okay. Okay, now let's work backwards with the question. Okay. Now, just now, B was left with 432. Right? B increased by 192. It means end of change to B actually, by right, should be left with 240. In other words, right, why will B increase by 192? B will increase by 192 precisely because, oops, sorry, let me just go back. B will increase by 192 precisely because A gave B 192. Makes sense or not? Okay? A gave B 192. Makes sense or not? I hope you all can understand. So far, okay? Okay? If you all can understand until here, can you all tell me what is the next step that we do? Yeah, what is the next step that we do? Anybody can tell me? Because this is very hard. Yes. Anybody can tell me? Times 4. Okay, you're a bit lost already. Remember, 864 divided by 2, right? They is equal. Equal, it means you are getting A in the end or B in the end, right? Okay. So currently, if you want to reverse from change 3 to change 2, right, you actually need to focus in A, not B. Very good. What the duck says, 432 plus 192. That is the correct step. But let me tell you, why is it 432 plus 192? Okay, because A in the end got 432. But A, that is after A give B 192, right or not? So if you want to find A at the end of C2, which means you need to reverse that change, right? You need to take back that 192 that A give to B, right? You need to actually take 432, which is what A has in the end. You add back, okay, 192 that A gave to B. Make sense or not? So 432 plus 192 624. It should be what A is left end of change 2. Can you all understand this one? This is very, very confusing. 624. So A end of change 2 is 624, which means A end of change 2 here, we got 13 unit, right? I want you to change it to the exact form, which is 624. Okay, 624 like this. And to be able to change it, right, I need you to take 624 624 divided by 13. I want you to know the relationship, right? 624 divided by 13 is a 48 again. So that means I know everything I must times 48 to find the actual number of stems. Okay, so here I will get 480. 48 times 3, I will get 144. Okay, so now I'm dealing with the real numbers. So at the end of change 2, right, A got 624. A increased by 144. Previously, A, C1 is 480, which also means that we know how come A will increase by 144. It must be because B gave A that 144 right here. Okay, y divide by 38. Since when I divide by 38? I didn't divide by 38. Okay, 864 minus 240. How come? Okay, now guys, I already from change 3 go back to change 2. Okay, so why divide by 13? Because for SAIKS, because I know that A at the end of change 2 is 624. So A end of change 2 is 624 here. Previously it was 13, right? So I want to make 13 to 624. That's why I'll take 624 divided by 13. I know the relationship is 48. Means I need to take 13 times 48 to get 624. Then I can find the actual number of stems right here. Can understand? So guys, I'm done with change 3. I'm done with change 2. Now I still need to continue working back to reverse my change 1. Okay, so that I can find all the numbers and I can find the percentage increase in Betty's stem. Okay, so somebody say 624 plus 144. Okay, bearing in mind now we need to focus in B already. Okay, because now we are left with B. So to focus in B, I want you to remember your B previously was left with 240 here. Can you see? B end of change 2 is left with 240. But B gave 144 to A, then B is left with 240. Okay, now I give you this very important hint. Who can tell me what is the correct step to do next? I repeat again. B end of change 2 is 240. That is after B gave A 144. So how do you find B at the end of, before I even start the change 2? Very good, Caitlin. Shikari said 240 plus 144 plus 144. Yes, 240, which is end of change 2. You plus whatever B gave to A. You add it back. Plus 144. That is how much B is left with at the end of change 1 here. The 8 unit right there. Okay? So to match the 384 with the 8 here, what I will do is I will go and find 384 here. I want to make it to 384 so there's exact number of stems. So same thing. I will take 384 divided by 8 to find the relationship. So I divide by 8, right? I know, actually the relationship is need to times 48. 8 times 48 will give you the 384. Okay, so you times the 48 here. 48 times 5, you get 240. 3 times 48, you will get 144. Okay, guys, I reached until this part. Actually, I got all the actual numbers already that I'm working with at every single stage in time. So finally, what is the percentage increase in the number of Betty stem? Okay, percentage increase means you want the increase in Betty over Betty's original. Okay, percentage increase is always our original times 100%. Okay, so we are left with the very last step here. Betty's increase, okay, I just need you to look at the start and the end will do. So the start we have 240, right, for B. The end we have 432. So can you tell me Betty increased by how much? What will y'all do? Yeah, thank you. Yes, 432 minus 240. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Is I just clarify again, is B in the end minus B at first, 240. Yeah. Then you find B increase here. Two identical quarter circle means here and here is the same. So the very first thing that I want you to put, connect these two quadrant, right, is their radius. Their radius must be the same. This is 5, right? You will know this is 5, correct or not, guys? And this is 5, correct or not, guys? Okay. If that is 5, can you tell me what is this? Anybody? that diagonal line? What is that? And if you tell me a value for that, can you tell me why? Okay, KM Paul says 5. Say this one is a 5, right? Why? 5 plus 5, not really. Haven't learned yet. Radius, yes. Guys, this is your quadrant, right? Remember, radius is the same. If the radius is 5 here, the radius is 5 here, then from the end here of circumference, you go to from the center of circle here, you go to the circumference. This is also your radius of 5. Yeah? Yes, so this diagonal right here is a 5. Okay? Okay, guys, can I ask you something? What about this one? Would you know this? Yes or no? Would you know this is what value or not? Do you know or you don't know? Because if you know this, then you can find area of square, length times length, right? But do you know this? Are you able to tell? Don't know. Okay? No, you don't know. No, you don't know. Can I say it's 5 though? Can I say it's 5? It was 3. Wow, y'all guess y'all see this one is 5, then y'all guess it's 3 because a bit shorter. You think it's 3 Okay, cannot guess like that Okay, yeah, okay, cannot. Yeah, you don't know. Yeah, you don't know. So you cannot use length times length to find the area of square for this. Yeah, so this question you cannot treat it like a square to find the square. You need to treat your square like what, guys? Like a triangle. Then you can solve composite figure. So guys, if your diagonal is 5, agree with me, your diagonal here is also a 5. So half of that diagonal, guys, like that to like that, what value do you think that is? Answer not 25. Okay, now if this whole thing is a 5, half of it here is 5 divided by 2. Very good, is 2.5. Okay, here is 2.5. I hope you all are clear. So if this is a triangle, then you have a right angle here, right? So how do you find the area of this triangle? Is half times your base of 5. Okay, guys, if you cannot see, the base here is a 5. And your height here is a 2.5. Clear or not? Okay, so that will give you 6.25. Yes, 6.25 is your triangle, but don't forget 2 triangles make up the square. So now, guys, what will you do to 6.25? Is this a common PSA question? I wouldn't say it's common, but I would say for composite figure, yeah, sometimes there's a test like that. Times 2, very good. Because this triangle is the same as this triangle, right? You cut the square diagonally to half, it's going to be equal, right? So 6.25 times 2, very good. That's how you get 12.5. Okay, 12.5 cm squared. So sometimes to find area of square, you have to know area of triangle. Okay, now the hard question I think is the next question. Find the total area of the shaded parts. So now I'm going to erase certain things so that we can see a little bit more. Okay, what I will do, right, to make things simple for me, I will label alphabets to represent each part. So I'm very clear about which part I'm looking at. Meaning to say, for example, this part, right? This part, I will put is A. Okay, then this square, right, I will just put is B. Okay, this part, right, I will just put is C. Okay, then E for here, something like this. Okay, and then I will put D, and then I'll put F. Okay, like F is this one. Okay, then I will try to make use of these alphabets to find whatever I can, until I get the remaining one which is what they want. They want A, C, E, F. They want the shaded parts, right? Okay, so they want A plus C plus E plus F. Okay, so I bear in mind, like I need to find A, C, E, F. Okay, now to be able to find A, C, F, let's focus in shapes that we can find first. Okay, so the very first shape, can you all see? We can find this A, B, C. Okay, so how do you find A, B, C, guys? A plus B plus C. Isn't it a quadrant? Okay, so if it's a quadrant, it's 1/4 times pi. Okay, do what? Do what here? This one usually y'all will get wrong. Like y'all confuse with formula. Yeah, anybody can tell me. How do you find area of quadrant? 1/4 times pi times what thing? Times 2.5 times 2.5. Not really. times radius. What is your radius? Look at this. What is your radius? Can you see it's 5? So it's times 5. Okay, not times 2.5, times 2.5. Okay, but thank you for trying though. Okay, so ABC is 19.625. Okay, so I found ABC already. Okay, then isn't it I can use it to find my AC first? Because I already found B, right? B I already found earlier on is a square, 12.5, right? Okay, so can we find AC next? I will take 19.625 minus away the 12.5. Okay, I'll get 7.125. Okay, at least I found two shaded parts already. Yeah? I found my A, I found my C already. Okay? Okay, then next one, I will focus in which shape? I will focus in the big quadrant here now. Okay, like this. Okay, now I give you all another chance to try. Okay, my big quadrant is made of B, E, D, F. Okay, so B plus E plus F plus D is 1/4 times pi times, I give you all a chance to redeem yourself, times what? 1/4 times pi times what? I mean, you can, if you can see, you can do it one step. Okay, I'm just doing step by step for you guys. Yeah. Times radius, your radius is 10. Yes, so times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, you will get 78.5. Okay, now you get 78.5, bear in mind is this one, right? Okay, so you don't want the shade, you don't want the unshaded part, so you must minus your B and you must minus your D, right? To get your E and F, correct? To get your E and F. So now let's find our E and F. Okay, so I'll take 78.5 minus away my B is 12.5. Okay, minus, do you remember they say this and this is identical? See, that is identical. So your D is actually the same as your ABC, which you already found here, 19.625. So you minus 19.625. Okay, you'll find, okay, you minus your this, you minus D, you left with E and F only. So your E and F is 46.375. Okay, last but not least, you are going to take your A and C plus with your E and F. Okay, so your A and C, right, you already found is 7.125. Your E and F, right, you found out is 46.375, right? Okay, so then last step, right, you just need to add together and you will find the answer. Okay, let me just make it smaller. Okay, last step is here. You get 53.5 cm squared. Yellow. Okay. Okay, during Christmas, his spending increased by 20%. As a result, his saving decreased by 10%. How much was his weekly allowance? Is the answer 192, not 192? 60 multiply 120. I don't think you need to do that though. Okay. Okay, guys. This is what he spent. He spent $60. Okay? If his spending increased by 20%, how can I find out what is his increase in spending? Who can tell me what do you do? Bearing in mind, he spent 60%, his spending increased by 20%. 60 times 120. I want times 120 actually. Amito say find 20% of your $60. Yes. Basically, it means, right, this $60 is your 100% of your spending, and you want to know when it increased by 20%, what value it is, right? So you just 20% of 60. Yes. Okay. So this is a paper 1 question. Let me just run through with you how to do it. Okay. Opposite. If it's a times or opposite, you can divide, right? Top and bottom also can divide, not just opposite. So you can divide by a 10, top and bottom also. So end up, right, 2 times $6, you know the increase in spending is $12. Why do you need to find 20%? Because okay, very, very important reason. Because if his spending increased by 20%, his savings will decrease by 10%. Why? Because you spend more, right? If you spend more, but you want your weekly allowance to stay the same, you know. You spend more, naturally your saving will need to drop, right? Because whatever you're spending, it comes from your original saving. Does it make sense? because the money you're given is the same. So whatever you spend more, it must come from your saving. Which also means, right, that 20% that increase, it will result in the saving decrease by 10%. Which also means, yes, NEDE, you got it already. That means the 10% of the saving is $12. Yes, that means you're understanding me well. That 10% of the savings, that the decrease, why did it decrease? Because it comes from the increase in the spending of $12. It's $12. Yeah, this one you must understand. You must understand the question, then you can get it. Correct or not? Okay, is the answer 180? Yes. So if 10% is the saving, okay, I want to find 100% of his savings, which is his original savings, right? From 10 to 100, I just need to times 10. Okay, so it's $120. So originally he saved $120. Originally he spent $60. So his weekly allowance is his savings of $120 plus his spending of $60. Okay, is $180 is your weekly allowance. Okay, yes, 180 is the answer.